Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Embodied Marketing Masterclass. If my eyes look like I've been crying, I'll just tell you because otherwise it would be weird. We just in leading before we pressed record on this, Sue just played a song which was one of my late. She didn't know this, but one of my late wife's most favourite songs, and it just had me weeping and remembering her coming into my face and screaming, "Take your passions and make them happen." So we're beginning this marketing masterclass with some good deep heart, which I guess, my core message around marketing is it's about connection. It's about human relationships. We have these words of marketing and advertising, and it's turned into this thing that for a lot of people, especially embodied people, are like, oh, that's not me. I don't want to sell myself. I don't want to package myself up into an offer. I just want to share who I am and trust it'll help. But at the core, marketing is about relationship. It's about people. It's about connection. It's about communicating your value to others. They're really deep human skills, and you can learn them and learn to do them in a way that you love. Yeah. The core message I have for you in this session around marketing is basically that you can absolutely love marketing. Yeah. And if you already love marketing, great. Let's bring some greater strategy to it. But first, just let me really you've heard that expression, you create your own reality, and you probably got some level of belief in that as something that's true. And yet it's true with every element of business. So finances, marketing, sales, if you don't love it, it's because you haven't created it yet in a way that you love and that you can. Yeah, it's something that's integral part of what we do here is we help people create businesses in a way that they absolutely love. Yeah, that's authentic to them, rather than just here's the 5 steps, go and do them, grow your business that way. We're all about deep authenticity in the whole business, in your marketing, in everything. And so we're really here to focus on you finding your way to do marketing authentically. So Embodied Business Institute, let me just touch on that. So if you're watching this recording or if you're here for the first time, just get a little sense of what we do. We basically help people, grow their business the embodied way, which means not just coming from the top down or the head down strategy of get a vision, get a goal, get in action, but really about being able to tap the living current of your own love, your own devotion, your own passion, and bring that as the driving force in your business. Because for a lot of people, especially what I call embodied or feeling led people, that the idea of creating, a 10-step plan, even though it might be inspired to start with, turns to a cage. Yeah, goals and plans turn to cages, and the deep spirit and deep life in the person dries up, and you lose passion and connection to your business. So, what we do is we help embodied people really develop incredible skill in business, but from their own current of passion, authenticity, love, and purpose first, and then bringing in entrepreneurial wisdom and good business practice and business strategy in service to that current, as opposed to so much of modern business trainings, which are like, here's the 10-step strategy, go and fulfill it, you'll get your $1 million by Thursday, which will work for certain people if there's a match in their style, where they're up to in their business and you. But if you're not a match, then that sort of stuff will often not work very well. So let's get into embodied marketing. So we're going to be looking at two things today, really. We're going to be looking at the state of marketing. Yeah, so what is the physiological state behind being good at marketing and what gets in the way of being good at marketing, and then also strategy around marketing. But before we do, I want to really touch on a few really key points about what marketing is and what it isn't, which I just hinted at right at the start there. Because I think most people I work with, especially people newer in the business and especially people more down the spiritual or embodied spectrum of things, actually find that marketing is something that we've got a story with. We've got a belief about what it is and who we need to be to do it. And often there's a resistance to that. There's a resistance to a marketing advertising culture that sells Coca-Cola by, happy looking bronze people in bikinis, all looking so happy with each other. And this whole, we see through the falsity of that sort of marketing and advertising. And so then we resist actually becoming skilled at it. And so many people, I've just seen so many of them that have incredible proficiency in their skill in what they do, that when they're sitting with a person, and maybe put your hands up if this is you, is that when you're with a person, you're great. Yeah, you're really good at what you do. Just put your hands up if that's you. Yeah, you know that you're good. Great, all the hands going up. Yeah, so you're really good at doing the work with someone when you're there. And yet too often, too many of us can't communicate that in a way that there's rivers of clients coming to our door. If they knew it, if they knew how good you were, what incredible skill you have, they would just show up. And in sort of the old school, people would just hear by word of mouth. You'd just be chatting to people in the, around the fire if we're going really old school, or in the tuck shop line. We're going, and so marketing didn't really exist. Marketing was just a natural thing of word of mouth. You just did what you did. You shared about it with people around you. They told people, and the right amount of people came in, and it worked. So, but in the modern information era, there's a whole world of marketing that's a whole separate element of business that, in fact, you need to be skilled at to be able to get your magic to the world. So we want to explore what is really good marketing. Yeah, what is, and how can you do it in a way that you really love, you fall in love with, hopefully. So just let's do this first. Just tune into marketing and just write down what words come with you. When you hear the word marketing and advertising, just write down the words that come to you. I'm not necessarily just saying the negative ones, just when you think marketing, what comes out. Just chuck a couple of words in the chat box. Okay, ready, shopping, takes a lot of time consuming. That's interesting. Yeah, people relate to it. Yeah, great. Yes, I've got to, um, record my Instagram videos or whatever. So one of the things, great. Yep, here's some more coming through. Yep, connecting. So I can read it. Your gifts to those who need them. Exactly. That's very simply said what we're going to be exploring. So that when you really are doing marketing effortlessly, it's not actually marketing. It's just sharing your passion. Yeah, it's just sharing what you love in a way that has people want to come and play. Yeah. So if you get good at marketing, it can actually be fueled by the same passion as that you have when you're doing the work that you do. This is, I think, our secret superpower here is we help people tap the joy they feel working one-on-one or in groups, and turn that into a flow of expression and that creates amazing marketing material. So you don't need to be somebody different to be great at marketing. You don't need to sell yourself. What you need to know is a few key things, and that's what we're going to explore today. But the core of marketing is listening. It's being able to understand what the people you're serving are really going through, and taking what your gifts are and putting them inside something that will be of use to them. Yeah, it's that simple. Marketing at its core is so simple. It's basically communicating your value to another so they can choose to come and receive that value if that value is true for them. That's marketing is communicating value. Business is about delivering value. Yeah, the whole wisdom industry is based on the premise of I have value of some sort that I can give you that will add value to your life. And that the clearer you're able to communicate that the value of that wisdom, then the bigger and better and more successful business you'll make, and the bigger impact you'll be able to make, and the bigger income you'll be able to create. So it's about communication. Yeah, it's about you communicating your value, and that what makes you good at communicating that value is your ability to listen to those people that you're serving. So still got my wife's song singing through me. That so communicating the value, yeah, is a whole art that we're going to explore today. But before we look at the external of marketing, I want to look at the internal of marketing, what we call here the state of marketing. Yeah, so what is the inner state that helps you be good at marketing, and what is the state that gets in the way of you being good at marketing? So just tune in for yourself for a second and have a feel. What do you feel like is the state that, if it was alive in you, the internal experience that would really help you with marketing? If you felt these emotions, had these thoughts, had this physiological state really on tap, easy and alive for you, what would it be that would help marketing be really good, really easy, really effortless, really fun? Even if I could dare to say marketing can be fun. Yeah. Connected, to be of service. Great. Passion, joy, excitement. Yep. Totally. My dog's out there sharing his passion, joy, and excitement with the world. Great. Leadership and compassion. Awesome. So I'll share for me what is at the core that I've experienced working with people doing marketing. Because you can imagine, in my industry as a business coach, a huge amount of what I do is marketing, is helping people with marketing. But when people come and say, okay, I want to get marketing, I basically, they come with the very specific problem of, I need more clients. Yeah, and that's what we're going to explore today. I forgot to mention that at the start. Today is fundamentally a session about how to get more clients. And that I'm going to show you a pathway, a way to get more clients. But when these people come to me for sessions and they share that, I often don't start with strategy. But those of you who will know me know that I believe so many of the issues and challenges that are facing a business owner and people in all areas of life, relationships, health, everything, the issue isn't form-based, external-based, meaning how do I do this thing to get here? How do I get more clients to come and pay me more money? That the core issues and the things that are blocking them isn't out there, it's in here. Yeah, it's in our state, in how we're perceiving our business, our life, the things we believe about ourselves, the emotions we feel on a consistent basis. And that if we can master our state, then we have, I would suggest, like 80% of what it takes to master our business. Yeah, certainly early on. Basically, I think the way I understand it is that business growth, to get to your first 100,000, is like 80 or 90% state. It's learning to master your focus, your state, with a bit of strategy. And then as you get above, it's more and more about strategy and getting really the right strategy aligned. And because most of the work I do in groups, I do quite a bit of one-on-one, helping people get to a million or plus. But a lot of my group stuff is basically helping people get to that first 120,000, first $10,000 a month. Most people, not all of them, but most of them are working towards that. And so mastering the state is absolutely central to being good at marketing for lots of reasons. And one of them is just that our state is creating our relationship with something. And so if you think marketing and think, oh, it's hard work, I don't want to have to do it, or I have to be someone I don't want, then you're not mastering your state, because you're not consciously creating a relationship with something. Because for me, to master your state means that whatever you're engaging in this case marketing, but money, business, sales, anything, is the ability to consciously create your relationship with that thing as you want it to be, as opposed to feeling like, oh, to do marketing, I have to be this other person, or to be successful in business, I have to be this other person. No, you get to create it. You get to create what is marketing and what is your relationship with marketing. And that starts by being able to activate and work with your own state. And the core state that, as clients and clients come to me, and this really came just purely, I didn't even have this thought. I was just working with person after person, our breakthroughs in marketing, and this kept happening again and again and again. And that the secret to marketing is this: your voice, yeah, your expression. Because marketing naturally, if we just think about it in a really organic human way, marketing is simply if you think of a market, yeah, and it's simply your ability to communicate your value to other people in the market, yeah, through your voice, and then through the way you've shaped your store, the way you're packaged up, whatever your things are in that marketplace. And so marketing is simply your ability, first and foremost through your voice, to communicate your value to others. And so, as I've worked with people who've come and said, "Oh, I don't like marketing, it annoys me, I don't want to do it," almost invariably we find that this isn't as full as this and this. So that they have this incredible love for their clients. And if I get them talking about that and they're not thinking about marketing, they'll, "Oh, I love it, I do this incredible work with these people, I help them break through and make these changes and whatever." And then I say, a more specific question about what do you do, or, and get them to share about it in a way that makes them think, "Oh, what are other people going to think of this?" Then all of a sudden the voice closes down, they get a bit more weird, or if they need to go and write copy or record videos, that the full potency of their expression can be diminished. So for me, the central state behind marketing is confidence in yourself, in your value, and expressing that. So the ability to express and open up your voice. So what I want you to do now, I just want to play a little game. So I want you to just write down why what you do is amazing, yeah, or awesome, or epic, or whatever word you want to do. I just want you to take a few minutes and just write down why your work, what you offer, is amazing. Just go for it. We'll just see what comes out. We're not even going to get in state or anything yet. Just write down as best as you can now why what you do is amazing. Just 2 or 3 lines. Go for it. While you're doing that, I might just go and get my dog to be quiet. So just really just letting the words pour out why what you do is amazing. Sorry. Okay, so feel free to chuck it in the comments if you want to. Don't need to for this, but if you want to write down why you're amazing, what you do is amazing. And now I just want you to just read it out to yourself. Imagine you're reading out. In fact, no. Well, imagine in front of you is your people. Yeah, that the people you serve are here, and I just want you to read out to them why you're amazing. Just speak it to them out loud, and just see what happens. I just want you to notice. We're just really, this is a noticing exercise. Then we'll look at opening the voice a bit, but just notice how um, alive you feel, how engaged you feel, how powerful you feel in sharing what you do. Of course, it'd be different if you had 20 people in front of you, but we're just playing. And just chuck in the chat, what do you notice? After you've read that out, what do you notice about your flow of expression? Does it feel, do you get energized by it? Do you still feel like a bit of restriction in it? What do you notice? Just getting a sense of your embodied state behind your voice. Yeah, what's happening there? Feels good, clear, true, and alive. I'm congruent and uplifted when clients transform. Beautiful, beautiful. Feels that after I read it, like I liked it, then I wrote it, but when I read it, the whole flow stopped. Yeah, great, great. It often happens we get in our head about it or overthink it. Yeah, feel energized. Great. Yeah, marketing done well is an incredibly energizing thing because we're passionate about what we do. Yeah, you feel closer to your clients and connected. Beautiful, beautiful. It's already just even doing that is opening it up and energizing you. I love it. Okay, so just get up and move around the room a bit. Just yeah, this is embodied business education. We don't do it all sitting in the chair. So just get up. Imagine there's some good music playing, and just have a stretch. Activate the body. Take some deep breaths, and just call yourself present in whatever way you do. And now we're just going to activate our state, and in this work we call it getting into your magic. And your magic is that unique frequency that you're in when you're doing your great work. It's the way life force flows through you to the people you're here to work with in a way that really works. So to do that, just take a few more breaths and come into your center. And then I want you to remember a time that you were working with a client that just felt epic. You're working with somebody, and if that's not there, then just think of someone when you felt connected to them, when you felt really energized. But I presume most of you have had some clients, so just thinking of like one of your best sessions you've ever done. Yeah, with a client that you love, whether it was just that flow, that synergy between you and them, and you were saying the thing and they were going yes, or whatever was happening. Just remember that session, closing your eyes, and just remember what that felt like in that session. Remember what was going on for them, and then really feel what was alive in you when that was happening. Mm. And feel your own body. Feel what was alive in your heart. Yeah, what was the current that was moving through your body when that was happening? And just see if you can really remember that state in the body again. Breathe with it, move with it, and just allow that state to be felt through the body, that flow of life force through you to them. Yeah, feel what that felt like when it was alive. Um, when you were doing your work, yeah, maybe you want to allow another memory to come forward or just stay with the same one, but just take another minute to see if you can fully remember the state behind that. Yeah, what was happening in your body, your heart, how you were breathing, how your posture was, just really remembering that full the state of being in your magic, sharing your gifts with this person or people. Ah, just the next 30 seconds, just see if you can increase that just as fully as you can today without forcing it, but just we call it the warrior engine. So just breathing, moving, and sounding with that feeling, that magic through the body. Just breathing it in, moving the body however it wants to, and letting it letting it come out through the voice. Beautiful. Another 10 seconds of that. And keep that going now, because we're going to work on the voice. I just want to actually I noticed Carly's on the call, who's actually a voice coach. So if I thought about this, you could have been running this session. But here you go, you get to receive some of your own magic. So just breathing in that magic. I just want you to breathe it up into your throat and to your voice. And just allow it to open up through here. We're just opening up this magic that you feel with a client. We're just increasing the expression. Maybe more sound comes out. Maybe just relax the jaw and just but we're letting the expression of this magic increase its flow. Whatever, however you want to do it. We're just activating the state of your own expression. Relax that jaw, wiggle that tongue, whatever you want to do, just opening up this voice. I guarantee you, the more alive this voice is, the easier marketing becomes. So just invite in, okay, voice, I'm ready for you to open to a new level now. Yeah, and just trust that. Just let it open. Breathing that magic up and really into the voice, into this place of expression, into the head as well, the place of vision. Just let it pour through you. And now I want you to imagine standing in front of you is your clients, your people you're here to serve. And I just want you to just allow your magic to pour out of your voice and your mouth in their direction. And just they're celebrating you. Yeah, they're here to celebrate your magic coming out and just opening up that voice. And I want you to really feel them celebrating you. Yes, often we have a certain version of does the world want me? And our voice is really linked to our belief about does the world want me? So I want you to really imagine that these people totally want your magic. They want to hear from you. They're celebrating you. Maybe they're just listening rapt, or maybe they're cheering and clapping and going, bring it on, brother, bring it on, sister. Whatever they're doing or saying, just feel that, what we call a field of yes. Yeah, which is where the community, the people around you are truly activating their yes towards you expressing this. I want you to feel that. Feel what it's like to have a community of yes, really offering that full yes reflection back to you. That yes, we want to feel it more. We want to hear from you more. We love what you do. Tell us more. Show us. Speak your wisdom. Yeah. Okay. And now I just want you to just speak to them, just again from that place. Just really give yourself permission. I suggest you do it out loud, but if that for some reason that's not right, feel free to just do it in your imagination. But better if you do it out loud. And I just want you to speak your love for them, speak your commitment to them. Just whatever words come, just speak to them and just practice again, opening up that voice and just let your words and your love come. And breathe in their yes. I want you to feel that everyone on this call, Sue and I, all the warriors and embodied business people who've come before here supporting you, as well as all these people who love you, all supporting you, and just speak. Let it speak. Let the voice open. Activate. And then almost say, what else do I want to say? If you had even more permission, yeah, because they're like each time you share something, they're going, oh yes, tell us more. And then what else do you want to say? And just really see if you can let that voice open up and just let it express. I guarantee you've got incredible things to share. And so just notice if you're not doing it, and just do it. You've come on the call and have a go. Speak to them. Open that voice and just speak to those people. I love you. I believe in you. I'm here to help you become more vitally healthy than you ever dreamed, or whatever are your words you want to say. just to let them speak, let them flow through you. And again, feel their yes. Yeah, feel their yes coming at you, and receive. Drink that yes in. Yeah, really good marketing is this, like a really good conversation. Yeah, when you're at a party or you're with a friend and you just can't stop talking and the hours go by. That's marketing. That energy is the energy of marketing. You're listening to them. You're sharing your wisdom. They're sharing back. So feel their yes, and just feel whatever. We'll give you another minute. What else do you want to share with them? Whatever else you want to share, go for it. Um, Drinking in there, yes, pouring the wisdom forward. And now, when you're ready, I want you to get that piece that you wrote before about why your work is awesome and amazing. And I want you to read that out to them now in this increased, this altered state, and see what's different. Yeah, maybe read it to them a few times, maybe even you change some of the words, maybe even you throw in a few dance moves that go with it, whatever it is. Just practice speaking this to them now with this greater flow of life force and energy in your voice, in your throat, your expression. So just speak that a few more times and just almost play with it. Just feel what it's like to loosen it up, to share it. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. And so just to finish, I just want you to feel, what's one last thing you want to say to them? Yeah, from your heart, from your wisdom. What's the last thing you want to say to them? And just say that to complete this little voice activation. And then come back, and I just want you to feel, what did you notice from the first time you did it to once you opened and expressed and you shared your own words as well as shared those words you'd written a bit earlier. Just what did you notice? What changed? I'd love every one of you to write a few lines about what you noticed about the change, because I really want to hear if you can just feel what a difference working on your state, your voice and your expression makes to your power, ability to do marketing well. From passive to orgasmic. Well, there we go. There's a great jump. I love it. But yes, so good communication is orgasmic. I think the throat is so an erotic part of our being. Yeah, it's so visceral and connected to life. So the throat center is alive and open. You've got a state of peace. Great. What else? What did you notice from doing that? Passive to orgasmic is great, because we all know, who do you want to buy from? Do you want to buy from someone who's passive, or do you want to buy from someone who's orgasmic? I mean, obviously, it could be a bit weird if you're at the market buying your tomatoes off the person who's going, oh, have a tomato. But the point of aliveness, yeah, is an incredibly beautiful thing. Yeah, a cellular shift, subtle but profound, beautiful. So can you feel, just give us hands, if you can feel how central working with your voice and expression is your ability to do good marketing, both in visioning it and in writing copy and material, as well as expressing it. Can you feel that as I landed that? Yep, great. Lots of hands up. Great, great. Because the reason I share that, A, is it's great fun to activate our voice, but two, too many people are going into marketing not in state first. And at risk of repeating myself, get in state, then create, which is true for every element of business. And when it comes to marketing, in some ways, I think it's almost the most important because state is magnetic, yeah, or repulsive. Like state has a potency to it. We all know that someone who's really inspired um, has a magnetism to them. You want to do what they're doing, yeah. We'll go with the orgasmic thing of the Harry. Who's old enough to know the when Harry Met Sally movie and her having an orgasm at the table, and I'll have what she's having. You know, that's it's that sort of, yes. Okay, a lot of hands going up. We've got some older people here today. um, and yeah, that's what having an alive state or an orgasmic state, if we're lucky enough to achieve that, like old dynamic Dob is it has people want to come and get involved, and vice versa. If you're saying something really wise and beautiful, but your expression is locked down, you've got a state of not full flow, then people will get bored and turned off quite easily. So to communicate what you do, there is a state behind it that is being felt by people. Yeah, the transmission. And if that transmission is there, then A, you're more likely to create content that is compelling and engaging and for your people. But B, it's also really going to, even if it was exactly the same content, it would have way more life and magnetism to it. So yeah, if I'm working with someone as I do, probably, 50, 60% of my coaching is around marketing. The core thing I'm doing is getting the state before we look at the strategy, because I'd rather have someone who's got a fully alive state with a bumbling strategy than a fully closed state and a really brilliant strategy. In fact, that's so often the case. People are trying to implement their marketing strategies but haven't got the state of aliveness and expression behind them, and then they're not working like the person who maybe developed them said, you just go and do these 10 things, you'll get a successful business. But because they didn't realize that a huge part of their success with their state behind it. So then they just teach the strategy and expect other people to be able to get the same results with the same strategy. But it doesn't work because their aliveness is integral to their ability to communicate their wisdom and have other people jump on board. Okay, making sense? Great, great. So what's one takeaway so far? We're going to move into the strategy of marketing now, but I really just want to hear what's the one takeaway from you. There's some more messages coming through. The higher your energy, the more attractive you become. Absolutely, and it's not even conscious. Yeah, it's just the fact that when there's more energy, it attracts more energy. Yeah. After the vibration and the psychedelics, got a state of peace. That's feeling and seeing, but still not speaking. Great, if that feels good. But here's again, this is another thing. Glad you mentioned that, Faye. And this might not be what you meant, but I'll share it to everyone. One of the great challenges for embodied people, yeah, is speaking, is communicating what they do, because inherently, where embodied people have their mastery often is in the inner world. So they've learned, whether that's connecting through dancing or through doing deep shadow work or learning to connect deeply to their own feelings, that there's a whole lot of work being done by a whole lot of people on the planet to map and explore the inner worlds. And that is the gift to be able to go into those inner worlds, is to drop the voice, the commentary, and experience things hidden but by that someone just stuck in the conscious mind will never see, as I'm sure you all know because you're here. But one of the rites of passage to do deep inner work is to surrender the voice a bit, yeah, to surrender the external focus and develop more internal focus. And that makes you a really good therapist, it makes you a really good coach, it makes you a really good facilitator, because you've got all this inner wisdom in, you've tapped these inner flows. But often it means that you don't have the same capacity in your voice to communicate the incredible gifts that you have inside you. So I feel like the core of what the Embodied Business Institute is about is helping that wisdom that these deep feeling wise souls have found to come out into a way that the world can really celebrate and enjoy. This dynamic Dob saying this process is so new to me and it's totally inspiring. Great. When I'm in state, I feel I go more into transmission rather than just speaking words. Absolutely. It's so transmission is central to what, when we're training coaches, we train them in transmission as their primary mode of transformation, and then strategy or words as the secondary mode of transformation. So we learn to be, the change we want to see in the world. Yeah, we've all heard that expression. This is the mechanics, yeah, of how to be the change you want to see in the world, how to be the state upon which the world you want to see created will arise from. Great. Be loud and proud. Love it. So, take a breath. Just enjoy whatever's opened up there. Because I'm going to get the whiteboard cranked up, which I haven't done for any of these sessions yet. But, marketing strategy is a good thing to do on a whiteboard. But just before I do, I just want you to remember that when it comes time to do marketing in your business, is that check in with that level of expression first. Often when I'm training someone, if someone comes to me over a period of time, or if they're in a program like The Village, where they're really going, I want to go from this level of skilled in marketing to this level of skilled, then the first thing we do is we just get you writing, get you talking. We just get that in that state and just get you flowing without worrying about, am I creating good content? Yeah, it's just getting the wisdom that you have inside you flowing into magic, into what's inside, into words, into words on a page, words out your mouth. So train your state, and so many of the problems of marketing, the challenges will disappear because they're actually just an unconscious resistance to expressing yourself. Because one last thing, and then we'll move on. Again, this is something I do a lot of when I'm working with people, to really transform their state of expression, is that most of us have a level, in fact, we'll test ourselves just for fun, have a level of how much of our true expression we're allowed to express, especially publicly, which traditionally business is public. Yeah. So based on family, based on schoolyard, based on, conditioning, we have a level of life force that we're allowed to express. And let's play with it. Let's say that 10 means that you have permission to just walk around the world going, I am fucking amazing. Everyone should come and do my work because I'm awesome. Here's why it's awesome. Everyone, look at me. I'm great. I'm sort of joking, but you get the point, that you have an ability to express yourself fully. And it doesn't need to be so like attention seeking. I'm just using that as an example. But the point is that you have full permission inside a public setting to claim your value to the world. That's a 10. And the integral part here is that you believe the world will want you for that. Because again, something I've found that's really fascinating, I could do a whole session just on this, is that, marketing obviously is about connecting, engaging with community. And so therefore, how we believe community feels about us is integral to our relationship with marketing. So if we were in a schoolyard where we felt like we were the oddball and we weren't welcomed and people didn't want to hear from us, or we got teased or any of that stuff, then unconsciously when it comes to marketing, that's still there. That stuff is still there. Yeah. And that's another reason why we can be good on a one-on-one setting, but not so good in a group setting, or why we're not as authentic in our expression when it comes time to write marketing copy, because we're unconsciously thinking, what will the bully Barry, say if he sees it, even though you haven't seen him for 30 years. Yeah. So we have these unconscious patterns about, does the world want me? How fully does the world want me? How fully can I express myself? Right back to being a kid and, look at me world, here I am, and shh, be quiet, or whatever it is. So let's give yourself a score. We're just going to do this purely intuitively, really. But that currently, what's your current pattern for how much full expression of your life force are you allowed to express? Yeah, and just tune into your own system. You can even practice. It's expressing a bit and just see. Yeah, again, no right or wrong. In fact, the lower the number, the more room there is to grow, to express yourself. Yeah, so, and again, it doesn't mean loud. It means fully unapologetically yourself. And then see what level of permission do I currently have internally to express my gifts, my magic, my voice to the world. and just see what number you get, and then chuck that in the chat. And whatever that number is, just feel it, take a breath, and just acknowledge it. Yeah, 7, great, Nikki. Well, hey, look out, world. Was a 4, growing now, exactly, it's great. 3, it's a lot lower than I was expecting tonight. Yep, 6, I think, beautiful. 4, beautiful. Yeah, so this is, if I was, going on a 3-month coaching journey with you now, I would be very excited by this, because one of the key things to you developing your power to market would be, let's get that up. Let's get a 4 to a 5. Let's get a 3 to a 4. Yeah, because your voice, the more you know your voice is wanted, the more other people will want it. The more you believe, oh, does anyone really want to hear what I've got to say? Then people will go, what? Yeah, so activating, working with your voice, your expression is integral. And specifically words too, because I work with a lot of people who love to dance, a lot of people who have a lot of deep feeling, and I could say to them, get on the dance floor and express yourself. And they'll express like wild, like a 10 out of 10, like this is me. And they'll say, great, now I want you to express your business, your love for your business, your devotion to your clients. And it's like, and they lose that same level of freedom, because it's about the voice. It often activates the mind. So that's part of what we're doing here, is recognizing that same flow that we feel when we're dancing, or when we're out walking in nature, or making love, or feeling really alive, is the flow that we can tap into to unleash way more awesome marketing content. Yeah. Okay. So is that enough on state? We good? Any questions about state before we move on to strategy? No? Okay, great. Okay. You are the first people to get the whiteboard in the new love pod. So there's a little bit of glare, so I hope you'll be able to see me. Definitely put me on a bigger screen if you can, because I haven't got curtains yet in the love pod. So up we go. I've actually got, it's quite funny, I've got one of these tables that like nurses have that you can push down or push up. So I've just popped my table up, and now we have, okay, great, okay. You can see there, you can see there, great. We'll just have to deal with that little bit of light coming in. Okay, so marketing strategy. This is, I'm going to explain to you, sort of sum up what I understand marketing is, so that you can get the basics of it. But also, this is, if we were developing a marketing campaign, this is the framework that we would use. Yeah. Now, again, the more I do marketing, the more I realize it's really unique to each person, and it's unique to your audience. So you need to know yourself and know your audience really well to develop a good marketing plan. Yeah, so often these days you'll see, but get the 10 templates I use to create $1 million, and just put them in your business and you'll make $1 million too. Or, learn my 5-step marketing plan. But it doesn't work a lot of the time unless there's a real synergy between the audience this person was working with and you, both internally and externally. And so it makes it seem really easy. But one of the things I've learned about marketing is that it's actually an incredible art. Yeah, you really need to learn to understand your people's hearts, learn to understand your own magic, and then the bridge between them. So that's what I'm going to talk about now, is the bridge. So up here we've got a little red person. That's you with your gifts. So that is you with your gifts. Can you read that? Just give us hands if you can see that. Yep, great. Okay, so this is you over here with your gifts. And there's a few things that you really need to know here. You need to know your magic, which I've touched on a bit today, but it's just like the transmission of what you're here to bring forth. And then you really need to know your offer, which is like your, in our work, we call it your signature program. So that the core, the way your gifts and your magic is packaged up such that it's really valuable to others. And then over here, little blue man, can you see little blue man okay? Just give us hands if you can see blue man. Yep, okay, great. This is your avatar, your customer. Hello. And this person doesn't know you yet, yeah? So they don't know you exist. You're over here with these incredible gifts. This person doesn't know you at all. Marketing is the pathway between them. We call them pathways, often called funnels, or whatever. So this is a pathway to get your wisdom from you to the world. So marketing is, at its most simplest, is building a pathway from your gift, your magic, your offer through to them. And good marketing is about knowing them as well as you know yours. Yeah, and those of you who have done other trainings with me or whatever, you know that an integral part is really understanding this person, your avatar, your ideal client, knowing their heart, yeah, knowing what drives them, what they're scared about, what they love. Yeah, we call them their drives. So what really drives them? So before we do any sort of marketing plan, which is how to get from your magic to them, we need to understand you, your gifts really clearly. And in the village, this is what we do. When you arrive, we get these two clear before we even look at getting out to the market. So many people come to me going, I've got to do a marketing plan. I've done someone's how to build a funnel course. I want to implement it, but they haven't got grounded in what their gifts are. They're not grounded in who they serve. And so then this is just like a map. Yeah, this is a map. This is where you are. This is where you want to go. We know that a map doesn't work if you don't have these two. Yeah, it's just you can't, it doesn't work. You need to deeply know your own gifts and you need to know them. Then we want to get the pathway between them. So, and what we want to do here is make that pathway as easy as possible. Now, when someone's beginning in their business, they often start their pathway here and they go, I've got all these gifts I want to share, and they start building their signature program and they build their marketing campaign from here, from understanding of their gifts. But what a good marketing campaign is actually the opposite direction. So it's about actually starting here. We'll get rid of that one, and going from where they are, not knowing you at all, through to, you know, buying your high ticket or your signature program offer. Okay, all making sense so far? Just give us hands if that's making sense. This is, in some ways, this is really simple, but then it gives you a structure to build a campaign with. And that if I was coaching you, you know, I would explain this to you, and then we'll get down into the nitty gritty, which we'll have the time to do a little bit of when I do some questions, but I just want to give you the map. Okay, so then I have what I call these three stages, yeah, where they go from not knowing you at all through to buying your core thing. So the first stage I call entice. And this is, they don't know you at all, so they have no trust in you, they have no interest in buying anything from you, you don't exist to them, you're nothing, you're nobody. And so if you just went straight to them and went, hey, I've got a $3,000 coaching package, come and do it with me, they'd be like, you're weird, go away. Even if your program was epic and awesome, because there's no trust, there's no connection or whatever. So the first stage is about enticing. What is something that you can do to entice them? And this is what marketing people, call a small problem. So it's finding, okay, what's a small problem that your avatar has that's also on the surface is another word. So what's something that's going on for them that they're waking up thinking about, that's happening in their life at the moment? And then what you do, this you could create a post here, you could you know, create a video. They're the simplest ways to look at it, but they're also create brochures, anything that has someone go from not knowing you to, oh, I'm interested. Because remember here, we're understanding their drives. So now we're building something to entice them to take a step with you. Yeah, so this could be a post, it could be a video. anything that's out there in the world. It could be one of those old school things called brochure. Haven't used a whiteboard for a long time. um, and so this here, but basically the way this works is you want to make this as easy as possible for them to say yes. So this is a yes. These are each yeses. Yeah. So they've said yes. They've gone from not knowing you to, oh, I'll watch that 1 second video or that 5 second video, or that I'll read that little post, or they've been enticed in some way to have a little moment with you. And what you want to do is you want to make that as easy as possible to say yes to. Yeah, does that make sense? That just that the easier the yes, the more that they'll come on and get enticed. Oh, that's interesting. This is when a lot of people use controversial things, or things, they'll use words or phrases to catch your attention because it's about standing out from the crowd. When in the village we go into a whole lot of how to do that, but at the moment I'm just showing you just really the basic flow of it. Then we've got engage. And this is what I would say you guys are doing now. Yeah, so at some point I have enticed you. Yeah, I have shared something on Facebook, or we've connected in some way, and you've gone, oh yeah, okay, he's okay. I like that thing he said, or something about me and this work, or maybe has enticed you in some way. And so that's then led you to say yes to that post, to read that bit of info that you came across, or whatever it was. And then from that came this other yes, where you said to register into this festival, yeah, into this masterclass. So you've already said 2 yeses to me at least. Does that make sense? Yep. So then here, you're going the next stage of the problem. So the idea is you're resolving problems, or at least addressing problems at a deeper and deeper level as you go. So here I might have just spoke about business, about getting more clients, about embodiment, just touched on lots of little things that then has you getting here. Now we're looking at the deeper elements of business. Yeah, we're looking at all the things we've been looking at. And in this case, in this specific session, the deeper problem here is, how do I get more clients into my business? Yeah. So then I'm helping you get some information to resolve that, to the point then, if you loved that, then I'm offering the village. Yeah. And this is the empower stage, which is really where we've got to support our clients to empower them to say yes to come and receive our gifts. And this is sometimes you can have money being exchanged here, and sometimes even here, but normally this is the sales stage. Yeah. So they've built trust, they've got value, because remember you're delivering value every step of the way here. They've got a little bit of value, they've gone deeper, got a bit more value, and now they've come in here and they're seeing what we call a core problem. And then for each of these, there's a solution that you're offering. Yeah, so in my case, we had enticing posts, we did Facebook ads, we did different things to go, hey, we've got this thing, come and check it out. Then they go, okay, I'll come and check it out. You have an experience here of one masterclass or many, you get some more value, and then we go, now, if you've got enough value from this, we've got the core problem, which is inconsistent business growth, and we want to help you grow that. And so now we've got a solution, a long-term solution to the problem that I never could have sold you if I just came and sold it to you here. Making sense? Yeah. And I'm really interested to know, because I don't know where each of you are at with your understanding of marketing and things. Is this valuable? Yeah, is this being able to take it down? Yes, lots of hands, great. Because it's very simple, but understanding marketing is really simple. Then you've got to do it. Then you've got to go, okay, how do I entice my people? How do I engage them? How do I empower them to make a choice? But that's it. And then one last thing I'll say before we finish is, as you build your business, you develop more and more different ways of doing this. So for examples here, you might have ad campaigns. Yeah, you might have. I won't even go into it too much, but there's all sorts of ways that you build an engine. So when you're first starting the business, you're just trying to entice one person. Hey, anyone out there? Oh, I found a person. They come in and you get your first person through, they sign up. But after a while, you're building engines in each of these stages. Yeah. And this stage, you could have a Facebook group, an email list, and so on and so forth. So this is the flow, but you're also building energy. So someone might get enticed now. For example, someone might have seen my posts about the festival and gone, oh, I'm a bit enticed, but actually didn't register for the festival. They were booked this weekend. They weren't ready for it, but they're enticed. So now they're in you call this my Facebook feed. Yeah. Or any social media feed. So that I don't know they're out there, but by the time they're here, I know they're here. Yeah, they've revealed themselves. Here, I don't actually know, but I guarantee you, there's people out there that have gone, what's this embodied business? And I've been cultivating them for a long time. So there's a large group of people, and probably some of you were here, who were like, oh, okay, I've been watching for a little while. Lurkers. Some of my business trainers used to call these people the lurkers. And then they'll come across next time. So even though I've done a campaign, we've got 150 people in this festival, there may be another whole 150 people who've gone from not knowing us to now enticed here and interested. Yep. And then here you build different programs. And, I'm not going into this today, but you build a suite of programs that meet different levels of problem. So, for example, at the moment, what I'm selling you is the Village, which is an ongoing program. But I could also be selling you a month-long program, which I have done in the past, build your signature program. And then you complete that, and then I would build the next one. So we have a suite of programs that resolve deeper and deeper problems for them. Yeah, and I guess my next offer here is some people want to do one-on-one coaching with me who are like, yep, I've got this, I've got incredible value. Now let's go and do a 5K, one-on-one package to really transform your business. So, yep, I think that's it. Does that make sense? Any questions about that before I move away from the whiteboard and go back to the magic red chair? Yep, lots of thumbs up, lots of hands. Great. Okay. Let me transform. So just write down what's your takeaway, yeah? As I transform my thing back to the chair, from what I've shared there, what's your number one takeaway? Deeper understanding of how to grow. Great to see the big picture and see the process in a diagram. Yep, great. What else? What's your core takeaway so far? Like the change in direction of the pathway from the avatar back to me. Yeah, it's great. I'll talk about that a bit more in a second. Feels more achievable. You see how simple it is? Yeah, one of the things I'm continuously doing is trying to simplify things, like radically simplify things, because embodied people traditionally, of course everyone's different, but traditionally embodied people actually decrease their feeling of joy with complexity. Yeah, when it's really simple, it's like, oh, the one next thing, I can do that. It's part of, in the Village, what we do is on the Monday, the whole training, we've done this in lots of other programs we've run as well, is that on the Monday, shh, it's okay, something exciting is happening out in the world. So that on the Monday, we get really clear with people, what is my focus for the week? We've done work on their map and got clearer on what's the goals for the month and the year. But it's really like, okay, let's get focused for this week. And I've found that embodied people have shorter attention spans because they're feeling much more. Yeah. So a mind-led person, you could give them a 10-step plan and just say, go and do it. And they'll go away. And if they're inspired, will be able to fulfill on those steps and be in their magic while they do it. But often an embodied person will go away with a 10-step plan. And by the time they're at step 2, they're going, yeah, I'm not feeling it anymore. This doesn't quite feel right to me, because they haven't been able to keep their embodied current in those steps. Doesn't mean the plan is inherently wrong, but it means that they need to keep generating it from within and be in relationship around it, because fundamentally embodied learners are more focused on feeling and relationship and less focused on things and external goals. Yeah, makes sense? Great. Okay, let me see what other feedback. The key, understanding the steps through the pathway, see how simple it is, feels more achievable. Never really had a framework for doing it. Now I can evaluate myself in each area. Absolutely. It's basically what we do now. If you join the village or if we were doing coaching, is we'd sit down and go, okay, let's look at them. What have you got currently? What have you got that entices people? What have you got that engages people? What have you got that will really empower them to transform their life? And we would fill them out and then link them together. And often people are still just at that other end going, well, I've got all these things I want to share, and it's more focused on you. But as you shift and you focus on them and build them a pathway from you, from them wandering around, not knowing about you, to coming and buying your program, it just gets much simpler and easier. And often, I reckon one of the things I say most is less. Yeah, less. You don't need to sell 10 things. You know, people are trying to entice people by going, look at all the things I do. And it's like, no, we're just going to find one little thing. One little thing. Great. The key to this is being easy, is doing the prep work, knowing the avatar and the state, get clear on the gifts, then the pathways. Beautiful. That's something I was going to check that you guys have got, is that, again, most people come, they want to build their marketing pathways and they haven't got those other clear. And until they're clear, it's really, it makes the other process really difficult. And in reverse, when that gets really clear, it makes it really easy. Yeah, so it's why. In fact, do you want to just, Sue, just bring up the wheel again? And I'll just share a little bit about this, because this will help you understand what we've just learned now inside a bigger picture, because this is one element of 12 in growing a wisdom business.
So, sorry, which slide are you after?
The other wheel, the 12, the embodied business system, the 12. Sorry, we use the wheel for something else as well. I'm changing words and confusing you. Yes, we don't call it the wheel in my mind then. Anyway, so this is what was about to come up on your screen, is the embodied business system. And this is me taking everything I've learned working in this industry for 20 years and putting it into a simple system that you can work with. And so you'll see on the right there, it starts with people. Yeah, and that is about your avatar, knowing who you serve. Then it's about product. And in some ways, those two are simultaneous. I've got to put them in order, so it's better to know your people first. But actually, the reality is you're learning those two at the same time. And you've got to get those two right. Then you build the pipeline. Yeah, so that's the third stage. So what we've covered today is really, it's a very simple version. And I've been talking more theoretical, more high level. Once we got into it, we'd look at a pipeline of social media, or of, you know, the groups that you're part of, or of your past clients, or we'd find these different pathways and you'd build different systems, different pipelines for each of these people. So I've got a client who's just started at a new clinic. They're a therapist, and they've just started at a very successful clinic through the work that we did. That they went and approached a very successful clinic, and she's now been welcomed into that clinic to work from. And so we developed one of these, a pathway specifically just for the people in that clinic. The clinic's been going for 20 years. So we or she researched them, understood who are these people, because so her avatar then became, members of this clinic who are interested in the specific modality that she was working in, or the specific framework. So basically, she was working with mothers and um, really transforming their life after the children are at school, and finding her pathway again. So basically, her avatar was, I can't remember word she used, but sort of like rebirthing mothers, mothers who are ready to birth back into the world again, who are members of this community. And then we went, okay, so what are their drives? Yeah, and so we mapped out that avatar. Then we built a campaign. What can we do to entice them? What can we do to engage them? What can we do to empower them? And so then she found a few things that would entice them about her modality, about mothers. And so she shared that with the community through the email list. Then she created a short free intro session to what she did, and enticed them to come to that, to engage in that. And then from that, they started booking into sessions. She just contacted me and said she's had the most clients she's ever had since joining the clinic. And the whole campaign we built is working. Yeah, it's quite a simple one, but it worked, and it was a pathway built very specific to that new community. So we're continually building pathways based on the people we're engaging with. And so then the next stage is about engaging, and really all the other things are done like how do I say that? They're done through action and results. It's why most of the things we've been focusing on in this masterclass series is on the people, the product, and the pipeline. Because that once we get out and start engaging, it's real time. Yeah, so you're with people, you're learning from them, getting feedback, and in the village, a lot of our work is in that next phase of sharing, of getting the work out into the world. Someone today contacted me and said, I'm thinking about doing the village, but I also feel like I've had enough of learning, and I really want to get into actually like applying this stuff. And I'm like, that's exactly what the village is built for, is to practice that, engage, building your list, building your communities, building your networks, and then developing your power to turn that into sales. You can take that down now, Sue. Thank you. So you see that learning how to build a pathway or a pipeline is really central to developing a good business in this business model, and knowing how to do it is it gives you incredible power to find clients anywhere, anytime. Yep. And so I just want to answer that question. Where was it? Come back to two more questions. Okay. I like the change in direction. I think, was that what it was? No, someone asked me a question here. You had a framework for evaluating yourself. Yeah, it's great. Having frameworks are so good because they give a clear reflection of, oh, this is what I know, this is what I don't know. But so I think the question was around that change in direction back from the avatar to you. And what really happens then is you move from trying to like impress them with all your incredible wisdom to just really simplifying it down to one problem. Yeah, what's one problem I can offer that they've got, and that I can offer one thing with that, and so it becomes very simple. It's actually much easier when you're over at your end. You're like, oh, I've learned all these things, and how do I put this modality with this thing together and this thing? But when you look at your business from their perspective and you build that pathway from them to you, then it really becomes, oh, okay, what do I just need to offer them? Something simple to entice them to just check me out. Often it's a few words. Great. Yeah, in fact, one of my mentors, Taki, one of his whole business programs or his business training is built based around the 9-word email, which is just some version of, hey, I'm looking for a small group of people who want to do, basically go from problem to promise. Who's in? Yeah, and that's an immediate way to entice them to then move into an engagement conversation and offer them something to engage them, and then to bring them into the deeper program. So there's 1,000 things you can do here, and you get to sort of play with that, and it's very much about trial. Again, most people in this industry will teach you one marketing strategy. Most people come in and say, this is the way to do it. Yep, this campaign, this email list, this structure, whatever. But I think learning the fundamental principles behind marketing, which is that building a pathway from them to you, understanding their core need, their core problems, how to create a simple solution and then a deeper solution and then a long-term solution will really, you can apply that, across any platform that you have. When I started my business 20 years ago, this thing called social media didn't exist. I know, isn't it mind-boggling? We ran business without social media. And how I birthed my first business, I was in 5 Rhythms dance class, which I loved. It was just, for those of you who don't know it, they just put on music and you just dance and you just let energy move. And it's my form of meditation. It's way, most embodied people enjoy that more than sitting still. It's just a way that life comes alive. Anyway, I'm not here to promote dance. But at the end of that, this was back in Melbourne 20 years ago when there was like 35 of us each class doing it, not like there's hundreds of people now and there's 25 classes all over Melbourne. Then it was quite new. But this community of people I was dancing with, and they were my people. They were my social media friends, And so 75% of my first ever program was just me at the end of dance saying, hey, I've got this program called Creative Mastery where I can help you live your dreams. There's the entice, yeah? There's already some trust built, which is vital along each stage. And then engage, and we'd have a phone call. So they'd say, yes, I'm interested. I'd give them a call. I'd share what it was. And then a bunch of them would be empowered to step in and buy the program with me. So that's happening all the time. From really organically to very, multi-million-dollar funnels designed to do that. But that's there. And the other thing, I was going to talk about this in the money one actually, but I'll just touch on it now, is at each point of those yeses, that the person is having to make a choice. Ooh, will I engage? Will I be enticed to engage with that thing? Will I, sign up for that free thing? Will I go from that free thing to, in this, in our case, a village of an ongoing mastermind? And each time someone's making that choice, they're viewing up risk versus reward, or value versus, risk that they're taking. And so that's why the yes is really easy at the beginning, because it's all I'm asking is a minute of your time to read this post, watch this video, pick up this brochure. There's very, very little risk from them, and not necessarily a lot of reward either, but it's enough to just make that first step. Then next time, I'll go through our funnel. Then it's like, okay, come and do this free festival. Yeah. Now we've got 9 different workshops. It's free, so it's not too much risk, but you risk your time to sign up, that whole minute it takes to put your email in, and then you've got to risk an hour or 2 hours to actually show up and learn. So you are risking something now, but not too much. Hence why, in this modern industry, we do these things for free, as well as there's a lot of beautiful reasons to do it. But from a practical point of view, we've lowered the risk so that you'll come on board and check you've got value, because now that you've done this, if the village appeals to you, you've got a sense of, I understand Ariel now, and especially if you come to a bunch of these classes, you understand the frameworks we work in, you feel me and Sue, you get a sense of what we do and how we work. And so then it's like, oh my God, I've got to pay money every month. That's a much bigger risk. But hopefully, if we've done our job, then the reward, the value is now able to be seen, and you can step into that going, I want to get the value. So you've created like very low risk first step, a bit more risk, a bit more time, but not money. And then, does that make sense? So again, often one of the things people do, so I'll give you an example of this. There was someone I was coaching who, this was before I was coaching her. She basically relatively new in the industry and had built a $1,500 weekend retreat for people to come to. And I spoke to her about it, and she said, it's going to be great. Her state was utterly convinced that this was going to be awesome. She'd got some amazing people to come and do it. It was going to be an amazing thing. But what she hadn't sort of factored in was that no one knew her yet. And so she was basically going from people who didn't know her and what she was offering to a $1,500 for a weekend, which is a high risk. For a lot of people, $1,500 in a whole weekend, you're asking for a lot. And she hadn't built the pathway to have people go, I'm happy to pay that much money for a weekend with you. And so we had to go back and restructure a whole business quite quickly. In the second session, I had to say, this isn't going to work. Yeah. Now I'm all for things working, but currently you don't have an audience that trusts you, that's been through a funnel enough to sign up to something that big. And especially when we then looked at her target demographic, that was actually a lot of money for a lot of those people that she was targeting. So we've got to learn how to build these things so that they work for people. And so if you're newer in the industry, then you want them as easy as possible. Yeah. And then as you get more experience, you can offer more and more and more to people. When I created Warriors of Love years ago, how it started for me, I'll just give you a sense of that journey, was that I got inspired. I wanted to do coaching. I did some coaching training. And first I put out to my friends and I said, hey, who wants to come and do some free sessions with me? It's called Live Your Dreams or something, whatever, I can't remember what it was called. And I got a bunch of like 5 friends to come and go through it with me. Some of them became my first clients, and then I advertised them at the local paper, I think it was. And I remember getting my first client. It's like they were going to pay, I still remember it was $100 for a session, right? And they didn't know me at all, and they were coming in for their first session. And so I got them enticed in for a little bit. And so my work began like that, building clients. And after a while, when I developed a bit of my style and how I worked with people and what I loved and how I turned my wisdom into something useful to them, I started to realize I was teaching the same thing to a lot of people. And so I went, oh, what about if I put this together into a course? And that's when my first creative mastery course was born, which I told you about, which was like $250 or something for a 6-week program. And then I shared that, and then I ran that, and it became a longer 13-week creative mastery program, became more intensive. We got people who loved it, came back as coaches, and we built that for another 3 years or something. And I think in general, the industry is much faster than it was back then because of social media and because of the wisdom and experience we have. I think in general, growing business just took longer back then. I sound so old. But then for me, rather than me designing the next phase of the business, my clients actually came to me and said, hey, it started actually from a question in the last week of the Creative Mastery program. It was like, what would life be like if you lived what you've learned in this program for the next year? Yeah, if you practiced the skill of creation, practiced embodiment, practiced your state, practiced, getting your strategy each day and following that current into action, what would your life be like if you did that for a year? And I'd ask that question at the end of each training. And at the end of this training, a bunch of people came up, some who were in that program for the first time, some who'd done it 3 or 4 times. And they came up and said, we want a 2-year program. And I'm like, what? I don't have a 2-year program. And they're like, yeah, but we want it. It's time. We want to live this material really deeply. So in this case, I'd built so much value inside the work that they actually called for the next stage of the program. Yeah, that's these days we're taught about being able to listen so we could provide that to them before they come and demand it off you. But that's what you're learning to do, is you're learning to listen. What's the next thing that my client wants? And so if you're just at the beginning, I couldn't have gone out and said, hey, everyone, I've got a year-long training program. Come and join it with me. There's no trust built. I don't have the embodied experience with it. They don't have the trust. So you start small and build from there. Yeah, does that make sense? Again, it's something people often don't teach you in the industry. They come in and say, okay, high ticket offer. I want you to create your high ticket offer, $5,000 a ticket straight away, which is great. If you're at a point in your journey where you're ready and mature enough to do a high ticket offer, then that's brilliant training. But if you're not, you'll come in and you'll try and force that, but you haven't built the internal beliefs in your own value and your own wisdom that it's ready to be that. And also your market doesn't trust you enough to do that. And so then you'll often collapse and go backwards. So learning how to build incrementally, and you can do it fast, but you've got to be good at each stage before you build on to the next one. So marketing is a lot about understanding relationships. Just like you don't go out on the first date, or I hope you don't, and say, hey, baby, do you want to have children? Yeah. And that's what bad marketing is like. Yeah. It's like, well, you said on a date, then can't we have sex or can't we have children? Yeah. And it's like, whoa, just a second. I was still working out if I can handle being with someone with that sort of haircut, you know? And so that we've got to understand that sequential flow in relationship. And then we bring in a really clear strategy about, okay, what social media streams do I use? What ads do I use? And all of those things, which we do next, but I haven't covered much today because I want to really give you the map. So I'm going to finish in a minute, and then I'm really going to answer some really juicy questions around, you're helping take what we've learned today and land it really specifically for you. If you're watching this live, then that's for you. If you're watching a recording of this, then you can reach out to us with your questions about your marketing campaign. And again, come and check out the village, because that's what we do. As we help people create really authentic, embodied marketing campaigns that are true to them and build that business. In fact, that's probably a good segue. Do you want to put up the business growth ladder, Sue? So I'll just share a little bit about the village. That this is our final destination on the journey through our pathway that some of you this will be the perfect thing for. Now, what we do in this, I'll share about the village more, but basically we help you move up this scale from idea on the bottom to a seed, to a hobby, to a side hustle. And then we help you cross the golden threshold to it being a full career where you're earning all your money from this, and then into a business that's really starting to build assets. And then it's scalable, and then a full lifestyle business, which is about you being able to just do whatever you want, whenever you want. That just purely brings you joy. And then at each of these, we've got what we work you in. So if you move to the right, you'll see it starts off with the plan. So you bring an idea to me, and I'll go, let's turn it to a plan. Let's turn it to, or a map. I think I should probably change that actually to a map. I use the distinction, the difference between a plan and a map. And a plan is like a set thing. A map is like understanding the territory so you can explore it in a way that's true for you. So let's change that to map. And then from that, we build your signature program. If you've already got your signature program, maybe we tweak it, we check that it's good. Don't need to do that. Then if you've got that, then we look at market testing, which is really about, well, I think I've got a great program. Does the market really want it? What are they willing to pay for it? How do I communicate it in a way that they really love? And so we test it until we're really clear we've got a product that is worth putting a lot of energy and building a whole pipeline pathway into. Then we start building a really good first pathway. And that's about understanding the different streams that you have and how to create a flow of people, a consistent flow of customers to that your signature program. And then once you've got there, then we build it up to creating multiple pathways, multiple products, and so on and so forth. So the village is about giving you a container that's going to train you to get up there faster. I almost guarantee you, in fact, I would give you a refund. We haven't done the whole, refund thing as part of this, but if you don't get up that ladder way faster inside the village, Sue and I are totally not doing our job. Because often just one thing we teach you, can make incredible difference to your business long term. And if we teach you 5 things, can make incredible difference. I remember paying 10 grand for a coaching program years ago with a couple of my mates, and that was a lot of money for me then to spend $10,000 on a coaching program. And within 2 months, one particular bit of coaching I got from him about how to restructure my program transformed, and I did over 100K sales in a weekend because of how he taught me to reshift it. It wasn't that big a change, but it was so significant. It made my program way more enticing for people. And so it was like, wow, that one thing has already paid for all the training I did. And it's a bit like that you'll get lots of wisdom and juicy things, but a couple of them can literally transform the whole impact of your business. So just go to the village now, Sue. So I'll just share about the village for a couple of minutes. It really is a program born from us working with people and groups for a long time with how to create the most fun, fast way to grow your business, the embodied way. So that the first thing we do when you join the village is we get a map. We we sit you down metaphorically. We can do it standing if you want to, and go, where is your business at currently, and where do you want it to go? And we get a sense. We assess through that circle I showed you before. Where are your business strengths? Where are you going? Where are you not? You know, and then I bring my wisdom in, because often there's a mismatch between where people want to go and actually where they can go, or what is the right step. So we find a map that is authentic to you and true for you, and I'm on board with. Sometimes that's a very easy process. Sometimes there's quite a bit of, well, actually no, that, you know, you're going A, B, C, G. There's some pieces missing in there. Let's build them in. Yeah. And so we get that map really powerfully anchored and grounded. And then from there, you get to action on it. And every week we go to the 3 fires, which you can flip onto that now, Sue. These 3 fires are how I can guarantee your business will accelerate in this training. The first, you've heard me go on and on about it, is your state, the power of consistently shifting and building your capacity, your state. And I don't just mean once. Yeah, it's state is one of those things that I found 90%, 95% of people know it's important, but actually only 5%, and I'm making those statistics up, but my mentors would be proud of me even putting statistics in. It's been a long time. Like, I don't want to do statistics. Like, statistics build trust, Ariane, but I don't care about them. So there you go. I've chucked them in, but I made them up. But anyway, 5. So while so many people know that mastering their state will transform their business, very few people, 4.3%, actually powerfully practice state mastery on a daily basis. Yeah, it's ridiculous how many people know it and how few practice it, and how few practice it consistently, such that their mind blows and new pathways get opened. And that's the core reason why we have so much fun and create results with people, is we shift the state first. Secondly, it's about strategy, and it's about finding, you know, all the stuff I've been sharing today and all the stuff that we have to help you find the best right now strategy. Yeah, what's the thing this week that if you focus on will put the right foundations in your business? A bit like I was saying with the whole pathway there. If someone comes in and says, okay, let's get more clients this week, and I'm like, who's your avatar? Oh, they're just humanity. I just want to help people in the world. I'm like, no, I'm not interested. I will not go and build a marketing pathway with you until we've got clear on the avatar. And they're like, no, but I need clients this week. And I'm like, but you're going to continually fight for them if you haven't got that clear. And so then it's like, great, we're going to work on the avatar this week. We'll get it clear, we'll get it landed, get it done. Next week, we'll look at packaging up your offer. Then we can start talking marketing plan. So we get the strategy really clear. And that also involves the training, you know. So, okay, I need to learn how to, you know, build an email list, or I need to learn how to write good copy, or I need to learn how to, you know, all the things. And so we have incredible amount of training for that. And then the last one is support, which is Sue's superpower. And it's really about who we are as a community serving you. Yeah, it's that field of yes that I touched on, about having a community of people who are really empowered alongside each other. And then the synergy that happens between the coaching that Sue and I give you, plus the community all mentoring. And, you know, it's one of our deep loves, and something we've been good at for 15 years now, is getting a community into synergy together. And then someone goes, oh, I've got this, I need this thing. And someone else goes, I've got this thing. And someone else goes, oh, I've got this campaign, I need some people to, yep, we're here, you know, and it just builds this momentum, which is how we're meant to live. Yeah, it's why we've called this the village, is that we really believe it takes a village to raise a good wisdom business. We don't have to do it alone anymore. So that's it. Yeah, that's the village. It is a framework to accelerate your business. If you're interested, you can just drop the word village in the chat. We'd love to talk to you about it. You can book in a call with me. You can read some more info on it. And yeah, if it's the right time to grow your business, then come and check it out. We love, you know, that the power of community and state and strategy together is an exquisitely beautiful thing. Okay, so we'll finish the recording now. I hope you've got some juice around understanding marketing from that higher level perspective. And if you're interested either in the village or even interested in coming and just actually building out a marketing pathway with me and with all my experience, then feel free to reach out and we'll see how we can help you. But by far the best way to do it is the village. We've got training specifically how to build pathways in there. Okay, much love.